Theorizing that one can time travel within their own timeline, Dr. Sam Beckett stepped into the quantum dork accelerator. No, wait, that's not right. Those aren't the words at all. Well, some of them are. Certainly not dork. Welcome to
they
the
are
show.
words.
Yes, they are certainly words strung together, forming a sentence?
I do believe they're English as well.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Hey, happy Wednesday, everybody. You are watching The Dorkening. My name is Leo. I'm monkey behind the keyboard here. We have an awesome show scheduled for you. As always, Steven.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, put that down. Congratulations.
Excellent.
Put it up one more time.
Every week, do it. Every week.
Brandon. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I muted it before you did it, so no big deal. Hi, everybody. We have a show. Here's a show.
Yo.
Everybody. Every week.
You hear that, Steven?
Yes.
Okay. We'll be counting on it. Kind of like how Brandon needs to say that Sammy line.
That's if she shows up.
You already said half of it, so good job.
What?
You said that Sammy line. The line is "Hiya, Sammy," or "How you doing, Sammy?"
Okay, so that's 20% of the words.
Yes, 20% of the words. All right, is this what we're doing? All right,
Technically
great.
25%, but I mean, math.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Hey, it's math on the Dorkening. Okay. So,
it's the Dorkening, not the nerding.
Why
the fuck off?
Why the hell did you guys not tell me about Quantum Leap?
All right, first of all, fuck that noise. All right, I cannot stand people like, why didn't you all tell me? Why didn't anybody tell me? Like, motherfucker, you have the same access to the same shit I do. All right? Like, you've never seen Variety.com before. This is a new thing to you. Right?
Maybe. I don't know.
We talked about it on this show.
See, so when I remember us talking about it, I thought we were talking about, like, you know, what if it happened? Not like it's actually
No, we were saying
Man.
it was happening, and I detailed what one of the original proposals for a continuation were, going all the way back to like 2008. Yeah, now you remember.
Okay. Now I
Yeah.
that's how the brain works. I don't think that's his daughter.
No, I don't think Dr. Ben Song or whatever his name is Sam Beckett's daughter. No. Although I do think it's kind of cool that
I mean,
it's 2022 and no judgment, but I don't think that's the case. I mean, especially considering that in the original series his daughter was also not Asian. So there's that.
No.
But I do think it's kind of cool that in the original show it's Dr. Sam Beckett, and the new one I think it's Dr. Ben Song, and
yeah, I noticed that too. Yeah,
the initials are reversed. SB BS.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's a little bit of symmetry. I like very much.
Well, so I was referring to like the reference to Al's daughter.
Al's daughter?
Yeah.
I mean, I know the words that you said. I just don't understand what they mean together.
When he's walking into the chamber, they found the video, but it's all choppy and they could only make out a ring. And it turned out it was Al's war ring, or they believe it's Al's ring. And then he had a daughter.
In this new show?
The first episode, yeah.
Oh, okay. I haven't delved that far into it. It hasn't premiered yet, has it?
It's on Peacock right now.
Is it? Get the fuck out of here. What?
See, that's what threw me off, because I was distracted by not only football, but I was distracted by a commercial on football, but the new show Bill Nye made called The End Is Nigh. I've been distracted by that, and I didn't realize Quantum Leap came out this week. So,
oh yeah, September 19th. Ain't that about a bitch?
Yeah.
Wow, done that just beat all. Shit.
So my apologies. I thought y'all watched it.
Nope.
That's a big fat nope from me. Although I wish I had watched that instead of other stuff.
Like what? Like the Black Adam trailer that they actually had to take down because people were leaving so many negative comments.
No, I didn't hear about that. Wow, that's
trailer.
All right,
that's rough.
I'll be right back, guys.
Sure.
Yeah,
because it keeps freezing.
No
we'll
worries.
be right here. What happened with this Black Adam trailer?
So
explain this to me.
A new Black Adam trailer dropped today.
Okay.
And the I probably saw it on DC Circle Jerk.
Okay.
But it's apparently it was getting a lot of negative comments because of a headless Superman.
Oh.
And but then the video got deleted. First comments got shut off, and then the video got deleted. And they must have re-uploaded it because I watched it. But it's just people being absolutely stupid. Because in the beginning it's showing the Justice League, and it's not the actual Justice League. The only one that they show is Jason Momoa.
Okay.
Or no, they don't.
Okay, they don't.
Maybe they do.
Okay, maybe they do. Jesus Christ, Leo.
Sorry. It
starts trying to be an unreliable narrator here. You are killing me.
Okay, so it starts off with a batarang stuck in the wood. And that represents Batman. They're not up and roaring.
Oh, is that what a batarang represents? Thank you, Leo.
But then it goes to somebody putting their hand on Superman's chest, but it's like cut off at the head. So
you mean they didn't show his face? Okay, all right. Now you say headless Superman, Leo, and I'm like, what? They showed like a decapitated, like legitimately. I was like, damn, is this a Red Band trailer or something? Oh, you mean they just didn't show his face?
Yes.
Got it.
No, the 78 Superman was riding a horse, but he was headless and he was holding up his head.
Yikes. Yikes. Finish your salad, Steven. I'm not eating a salad. Go to your room.
But I mean, it has all new footage. It has Amanda Waller talking about a team. But yeah, it's still looks good. I can't believe that's coming out in a month.
Yeah, it's fun stuff. Hopefully,
I mean, there's some great movies coming out in October. Not only Halloween Kills, that Smile movie, and Black Adam, obviously. I mean, there's going to be some really good movies coming out in October.
Oh,
well,
hopefully, because the summer really didn't.
The jury is out insofar as Halloween Kills. I mean, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Yeah. I know you didn't enjoy it, Brandon, and I know some people I know in my social circle didn't enjoy it either. But as a Halloween fan, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I hope.
Yeah, I mean, I hope Halloween Ends is good. You know, I just I don't think I'm gonna worry about making a sojourn to a cinema to see it. I'm fine with staying home and checking it out on Peacock.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, and I obviously you can tell by my voice and me not being here last week. I'm just recovering from bronchitis. It's not COVID.
No, the COVID came after.
The COVID's what opened the door for the bronchitis.
Exactly. Yeah.
No. I have 50 negative tests right here that can prove you all of you wrong.
Hey man, buck up. I'm sure you keep your chin up. I'm sure it'll be positive one of these days. If at first you don't succeed, keep on sucking till you do succeed, right? No, that's not how that goes.
So what the fuck is this Andor?
Yes. Yep, that's okay, great. Good review.
So the first 3 episodes dropped today. I had it playing on in the background at lunchtime today, and just like I just don't get it. I know why they released 3 episodes at once, because if they would have just released the first episode, nobody would have watched the second. I only watched the second because it was like available right now, and then that gets a little bit better, and then but it's
I get what you're saying, Leo, because I've seen other people say it, that it's a real slow burn.
Super slow.
I mean, a friend of the Dorkening, Mitch, made a good review on Facebook saying it's just really, really, really slow, all 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Honestly, before I sat down to watch the episode, you could say I was disinterested and/or ambivalent. But hey-o! Johnny! But the thing is, by the time I got to the end of the first episode, because that's all I've watched thus far, that's all I had time for before the show tonight. It's not that bad. It's my computer. I'm sorry if that's making noise. Apparently it's getting ready for liftoff. The hell?
We can't hear it. Don't worry about it.
I feel like I'm about to die. I don't know why it's being that loud. It's off-putting. Anyway, hold on.
You okay? Uh-oh.
I feel like I might about to lose my connection. I'm confused. Maybe not.
Jesus Christ.
Oh no, everything's fine. Okay. All right.
Yo, lost his connection. Brandon was about to lose his connection. They're starting to drop the nukes now.
Oh shit! Wait, like both of you losing your connections, and then my computer was going slow. It's a what the fuck is it? Skinwalker Hitchhiker.
Stop it.
Dude, I've been going so deep into that rabbit hole.
Well, hold on just a moment. I got to the end of Andor, the first episode, and honestly, like for myself, from the onset, I've just been like, I just don't see the need for this at all.
I agree, Brandon.
But if you take away anything that you know about Rogue One, which I'm fine with because I love ignoring that movie. If I can make it a hobby, I would. Um, I didn't find it to be too cloying. I kind of looked at it from the viewpoint of like right now, there's no real connection to any other story other than the fact it takes place in the Star Wars universe. And I like that. I actually liked that I watched this episode and there wasn't like all kinds of crazy like wink wink Easter eggs for like super Star Wars fans and what have you. You could have just watched it and been like, this is what it is right in front of you. Um and I actually thought I was impressed with the exposition of how corrupt the like quote police forces for that area, just from obviously those two dudes trying to shake down Andor, Cassian, whatever the fuck his name is, shake down Cassian in that alleyway. And then after they're found, the young guy reporting it to the superior, like the head of the security, and the head of the security is like, yeah, let me break it down for you. And it was fucking crazy how spot on that dude was. Like, that was a guy, there was no flies on that guy at all. He broke it down just from where they were found and who they were. And he was like, oh yeah, no, I know exactly what happened. They're in an area they're not supposed to be. They're in a brothel that they shouldn't be able to afford, drinking alcohol they shouldn't be, that we're not even supposed to have. Yeah. How you doing, Sammy?
I totally,
but just all of that tells you everything you need to know about the authorities in that entire area.
well,
And
not necessarily, because that comes
that-
back.
that's the thing is, as far as that head was concerned, like, just it's an accident, fill out an accident report. But I mean, the second that he said to that young guy, like, did you make modifications to your uniform? He's like, oh, I just added some piping and blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, this dude's Johnny fucking Law. Like,
Yep.
he's got a hard on for justice. And sure enough, like by the end of it, he's like, no, these men were murdered. And I'm like, oh, all right, fucking Sherlock is gonna save the day. Got it. But I enjoyed like seeing like Cassian realizing like, okay, this is really gonna come back to bite me on the ass, and they legitimately starts making moves right away. Like, I get it the fuck out of here. That's it. That that was interesting enough to me. Not to say like it was the coolest thing I've ever seen, but I wasn't as disinterested by the end of the first episode as I thought I would be. Granted, I know that there's a likelihood as this show goes on that the Star Wars lore is gonna like seep in, and you might start getting those little head nods and wink winks, nudge nudge. But for this, I mean, I agree that putting all three out is probably the best move. But for myself personally, there was enough in this first episode for me to be like, okay, you know what, I'll check out the next one for sure. See how that is. But I'm not holding out like high expectations for it. Put it that way.
Yeah. Well, I totally forgot what I was gonna say.
Good.
I mean, I found it, watchable, but it's super slow. And two of the main issues that I had was they spend a good amount of time in the second and third episode doing flashbacks, and the flashbacks are to a group of kids on a different planet speaking a totally different language. So they're going through, there was like a whole scene of them talking and no titling, no
that's okay.
subtitles. But they did it in other parts of the show too. There was they were at some camp and there was this creature talking and no subtitles.
I mean, that's fine. Not a big deal. I mean, it's a storytelling choice, and it is what it is.
Yeah, it was just odd for them to spend so much time just like not understanding what these people are saying.
I think it has more to do with just watching them, seeing how they interact and what kind of community they were. You know, I think they displayed like the closeness of, you know, Cassian and his sister in the flashback there. And, you know, they were getting ready for some kind of ritualistic thing. You know, it didn't bother me. I don't need to have subtitles all the time. I think there was enough there to visually tell a portion of the story that subtitles across the bottom of the screen might have been a distraction from the performances that the people on screen were giving. So let's just see how it pans out. You know, if there's more of that and it's like, well, there's clearly exposition in there that we probably should have known, then yeah, then it becomes a fucking problem. You know, but right now it's so early. Like let's see what they do, I suppose.
Sounds good. Steven, did you watch any of it?
No.
No. Why not?
I mean, I could have.
No.
I didn't.
You see about that, I was going to turn it on using my streaming stuff, but then I decided I'll put down the remote and just keep on living my life, right?
No, the thing is, I'm kind of burned out from Star Wars. I don't know. After,
I mean, that's okay.
No, I mean,
you don't really need to explain. Like, it's understandable.
I'm just burned out from Star Wars, and
No, that happens. I mean, there was a time I got burnt out from Star Trek. You know, sometimes there can be a little bit too much for you. You know.
Yeah, and that entire Saturday, Leo just didn't know what to do with himself.
Hey.
hey! It was like a holiday weekend, man.
Go any further, Brandon, it'll have to be an X-rated show.
Yeah, no, I get it though, man. It's tough too because Star Wars used to be an event.
Yeah.
And now it's become
shit that they cram down your throat.
Well, it's not just become commonplace, but expected.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that was always one of the cool things about Star Wars was that
it was unexpected.
You never knew what more you were going to get per se. And I think when you take that mystique out of it, it loses a bit of its appeal altogether. I'm not saying that means people dropped off as fans because they didn't do that anymore, but that anticipation, you know, that nervous, like, oh, I really hope they do this, or I can't wait to see it because this might happen. I don't really think there's so much of that anymore. And, you know, for decades, that was how we all approached Star Wars, you know, as a whole. So, like Sammy said, there's just so much Star Wars.
She's only seen the first three, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's still a lot of Star Wars. Like, then 9 movies, how many 9 Skywalker movies, then Rogue One and
fucking
Solo.
Special in a Pear Tree.
Don't forget Caravan of Courage.
Well, I was gonna say there's also Caravan of Courage and the Ewok Adventure, and it's just a lot of shit, man. And then all the friggin' animated series
and the fan films and all the.
Well, I'm not gonna count fan films.
Yeah,
they're not. I'm talking about legitimate canon Star Wars, like
and then all the books and comic books.
Yeah,
you can ignore the books and comic books.
Thank you. Yo-Yo took the words right out of my mouth.
The books that count that Disney don't acknowledge, by the way.
Even then.
Yeah.
Thanks, Wikipedia.
Didn't we go through the supplemental reading thing last week? We were talking about like Marvel stuff.
We'll defend to this day that Shadows of the Empire is the best book.
Sure. Put me to poop on.
So Zelda is getting a sequel.
Yeah.
Wait, you mean again?
Well, Breath of the Wild, Zelda's timeline is confusing as fuck. But with the new game that they came out with, Breath of the Wild, a few years ago, launched with the Switch, it was like a breath of fresh air. There were some Zelda games that came out, like the Gamelon and Wind Waker, and a bunch of ones that people try to forget, like Majora's Mask. Breath of the Wild was like a resurgence of Zelda. People were going back to the franchise, and people were anticipating, is there going to be a sequel? Because again, their timeline is so fucked up. They were going backwards and forwards and sideways. And with this direct, that was the last thing they announced, and it blew people's socks off. But it wasn't the only thing that blew people's socks off, and we'll get to that eventually.
Well, I
Hey,
would
real quick, Steve, can I ask you a question? Just like a technical question.
Yeah. What's up?
Is your microphone on? Like the one in front of you?
Yes. Why?
Okay, because it's
Tap it.
it's what's that?
tap it.
Yeah, tap it. No.
Nope. You don't have that
It's
microphone.
coming from.
Yeah. You sound like it's like there's all kinds of room noise. It sounds like you're using a speaker.
Oh, I know what's going on.
That's all. I mean, fix that shit. I'm just saying.
I would argue that I don't care about the timeline for
Yeah.
Zelda. I can just play the games and enjoy it. I mean,
Yeah, Link,
more power
you come
to
to
those
town. You come to save the Princess Zelda. There we go.
more power to those people who can like understand and actually do care about that. But I could care less as long as the games are still entertaining.
Well, even the fans don't know. I mean, there's whole discussions about, the timeline and what happened where.
Ain't
And
worth my time. Ain't worth my time to discuss. Just enjoy the game.
Yeah.
It's like
and like, I loved Zelda since the beginning, but there was a period where I didn't really care for it. The N64 versions, I did not care for. Link to the Past was amazing.
Oh my God, Link to the Past. Oh
yeah. Wind Waker was great. But then Skyward Sword was kind of like meh. But Breath of the Wild is friggin' amazing. But this one has me a little worried. It's
third place.
I know you didn't do that on purpose, but it was just lovely.
What?
No, still not working.
Now we can't hear anything.
Hey,
there we go.
Tap 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 a Rooney.
How about now?
Yeah, there it is. That's
So,
Idiot me forgot to plug the damn soundboard in.
Oh,
I mean, it's not really an idiot move. I mean, life happens.
And no, I wasn't showing off third place. And whatever you guys said.
Like I said, I know you didn't do it on purpose, but it was still lovely.
But whatever you guys
nicely
said,
placed.
whatever you guys said about the video games, I agree.
Oh, so he agrees that it was kind of meh. Wow.
Why?
Excellent. He was saying like the N64 games, meh.
No, not GoldenEye.
No,
Zelda.
Oh.
That's what we were talking about, Steve.
Oh.
But then the new trailer, it didn't blow me away. It was the traversal into the sky. I just like if they would have made more. Well, we don't know what it's going to be yet. It could be exactly what what I'm about to say. Like they need to add dungeons back.
Yeah.
If they can go back to like the original Legend of Zelda map, that would be awesome.
You didn't like the 64 version, but you want dungeons back?
Yeah.
They did have dungeons in Breath of the Wild. It was like some of them were puzzles.
Well, it was just, but they weren't really true dungeons though.
Yeah.
It was all like one big room.
I mean, that'd be cool, but let's see what they do. You know, I mean, I'm sure it'll be enjoyable for at least some people. So we got that going for us, which is nice.
GTA 6. What the hell happened there?
The leak. I did not bother even looking at anything for it because I know it was a leak. I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna like spoil, like ruin it for myself like that.
Well,
it wouldn't be a spoil. It's all low resolution.
yes.
So
Someone in Rockstar leaked like codes and videos and screenshots of the game.
Well, they got hacked.
Yeah, their email got hacked.
They got pissed, and now the FBI is getting involved in this hack. Which, there's multiple news things that happen every year with big game studios really, saying their new game on the block is getting hacked, and we don't hear the part where FBI is getting involved.
Yeah, when you're talking about that much money, being potentially like on the line there, the FBI is definitely.
I haven't heard very many stories about shit like this getting hacked.
I mean, normally when you hear FBI and Grand Theft Auto, it's the other way around, not them helping, investigating Rockstar in a different way. In that way, they're investigating them in a different way that affected Grand Theft Auto.
I've never heard of the FBI having anything to do with Grand Theft Auto, honestly.
Were there problems with Rockstar?
I've heard mom groups and like random people like that complaining about video games ruining society, whatever.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean. I'm just making a similarity, but get FBI out of the equation for that. I mean, police.
Well, they want to get the FBI involved in those situations. The FBI is like, well, what's a game?
Yeah, right.
Like, this hardly seems worth my time.
They they really should get the FBI involved in those monsters that put Spider-Man's face back.
You mean what? Saul Goodman's face?
No.
Do you see they modded him in the Spider-Man game for PlayStation?
Well, I know. Yeah. So it's probably the PC version. But the mod that I was talking about was they changed Peter's face in the remaster. Oh. And either some people hate it or some people love it. I don't mind it. It looks like it's a true like if they took like the 3 like live action Spider-Man and merged them all together, that's what it looks like it would be. Okay. But the one
complaining about that, that's pretty awesome.
Composite.
What's that?
It's a composite.
Composite. There we go. Thank you. Thank you for the me no big words today.
I like
wonderful. My own fault for taking a sip of tea at that time.
I like the melding of the 3 Peters together to form that composite you were talking about. So I don't know why people would complain about it.
Oh, they've been complaining about it since the remaster came out, but what they're complaining about now is that somebody did a mod for the remaster to put the old face back.
Okay.
So now you have people, it's just some people in the video community are just like,
in today's edition of Who the Fuck Cares?
Exactly.
We talked about the Nintendo Direct, but we didn't talk about one of the other things that was announced. GoldenEye.
Okay, so what is the other? What are one of those other things?
Well, the one I wanted to talk about was GoldenEye and 64 coming to the Nintendo Switch online. I mean, because next to Super Mario 64 and I think some sports game, or it was Mario Party, it is one of the best-selling games of the N64, and it's heralded as one of the best N64 games of all time, next to Super Mario 64. The thing that blew everyone away at the time was the multiplayer. people have been wanting to remaster this game, and they did for the Wii with Daniel Craig as Bond, because Daniel Craig was, the thing. So, it was getting bounced. The property's getting bounced around with, Activision, then Ian Entertainment, and then just all these other properties. The only people that had before, the Craig movies kicked in for the license was Xbox and Nintendo. So PlayStation is out of the equation for this. The only people that are getting this port is Nintendo and N64, Nintendo and Xbox.
Is Rare involved in this?
Yes.
That makes sense then, because they are Xbox.
Yeah. There's two differences with these ports. The N64, why do I keep saying that? The Nintendo Switch version is going to have online play, but it's just going to be, it's not the version with updated graphics and all that stuff.
It's the original skin.
Yeah. The one for the Xbox will not have online play, but it will have the updated graphics.
Okay, so it sounds like the Nintendo version is the one you probably want to go with.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Good thing I have a Switch.
If everybody who's like that hard up for GoldenEye really gives a shit about it, then I don't think having the original graphics skin is going to be a deal breaker for them. Oh, what do you mean this game looks exactly the way I remember it? This is bullshit. What?
No, I don't think you know do like the split screen,
bro. What was that, Yo-Yo?
Can you just play split screen like multiplayer? Because
right.
Well, if they're doing split screen, then that means they need to make a couple wired controllers and then have one where you hold one and your friend is like on the floor, playing the game as well. Somebody has a pillow maybe.
I have 4 wired controllers for my Switch.
Really?
Yeah, really.
I didn't know they made any.
Yeah, I have. I have 4 Microcon GameCube controllers and the adapters to be able to plug them into the Switch. They also worked for the Wii, which was nice.
Oh wow,
it's perfect for Smash Brothers.
Yeah. But you get what I'm saying. It's like multiplayer games will never be like that again.
I know that's why I'm hoping.
No, with that attitude.
Well, the multiplayer is in the Nintendo Switch Online version because you're playing online with other players.
I want to do split screen, have people over.
That's for the Xbox One because it doesn't have.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the Switch is perfect for that. You just have both. You should get the best version on Sprint. The Switch.
Yo-Yo, since it's for Xbox,
just have your friend with the Switch come over to your house.
Yeah.
Then you can both play on your respective Switches. Boom. There you go.
Well, you can probably play PC though, if it's on Xbox, right?
That's a fine line too. Even though they have Xbox Game Pass for PC, I think it's possible. They didn't say.
I mean, technically, last time I actually played with an Xbox, you can stream it from the Xbox to your laptop or desktop if you're using Windows. So technically, that's an option too.
Yeah. So if it's possible, then it's possible.
So powerful Brandon, what have you had in your news list?
What have I had in my news list? I don't fucking know, dude.
Your topics for today.
I don't know. I'm looking, dude. I had a couple things.
Tom says Xbox version of GoldenEye is rumored to be an update for anyone who has a rare replay.
Okie dokie.
You were excited about something last week.
Well, what was I excited about? Remind me.
A chain-smoking devil hunter from DC.
Oh, there we go. Apparently Warner Brothers is going to be they've greenlit a sequel to Constantine from what 2008 or 9 or something like that. Yeah, 2009. Starring 2005. I'm sorry, 2005. Starring Keanu
like
Reeves.
17 years, isn't it? Yeah.
And they are also bringing back the director Francis Lawrence to helm it. As well as Akiva Goldsman, which I mean, I am pretty ambivalent about Akiva Goldsman's involvement in anything most of the time. Let's not forget, this is the same dude who wrote Batman and Robin. I don't care that he wrote A Beautiful Mind. He also wrote Batman and Robin. Okay.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug, man. Just saying.
that is literally my thing, man. There's some fucking fat old Jewish executive named Maury in a back office somewhere who's just like, how the fuck are we gonna figure this one out? I'm telling you, Morty. You know what? I got a perfect idea. Marcy, I'm gonna need Akiva Goldsman, David S. Goya, and an 8-ball of cocaine. I don't care that it's Wednesday.
Oh, jeez.
I know it's Wednesday. Why do you say only an 8-ball? Well, on Friday it'd be a kilo, and let's not get into it. You know what I mean, Morty. Anyway, we got Akiva on the phone yet? Jesus Christ!
Oh, what the hell?
That one guy's like fixed for everything. What? It needs to make money. All right, I got it. Get me Akiva Goldsman, David S. Goya. And a 20 bag of ketamine.
Beverly Hills Cop has his cast.
Eddie Murphy, great. Judge Reinhold, great.
Yeah, everybody's coming back. Paul Reiser, Bronson Pinchot.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, he's coming back to the series. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Bronson Pinchot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that, Natty? Balky Bartakamus.
Oh, he's now Mr. Hulk.
What?
She-Hulk's dad.
No.
No, you're thinking the wrong character.
That's Mark Lynn Baker.
Oh.
Yes. No, we're talking about Balky.
You're mixing your cousins
not Larry,
up
but Balky. You know, the guy who came from the foreign country. The whole impetus for the show, Perfect Strangers.
Yeah.
You know, some days the world looks perfect and there's nothing to rearrange. That's the beginning line of their theme song, guys. Sorry.
I know it by heart.
I do too, and now I'm gonna have it stuck in my head for the rest of the week. That's
thank you for that, because it started playing in my head.
Honestly, there's worse songs to have stuck in your head. You know, it could be Friday I'm in Love by The Cure. Sorry, everyone.
I don't know if you saw this last week or putting it in the notes topics, Brandon, but I don't know if you've been to the Toronto International Film Festival. I haven't, but I guess DC were on hand to.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. Why the fuck would somebody do that?
Okay, hold on. Before you get into that, just real quick, I did just want to close out. I am a big fan of the 2005 Constantine movie starring Keanu Reeves, and I'm a big comic book nerd, big Vertigo kid in the 90s. I have all of Hellblazer, John Constantine Hellblazer. Oh, well, let me rephrase, John Constantine Hellblazer, because Constantine is actually how the name is supposed to be pronounced. I did not learn that until recently while watching an interview with Neil Gaiman. Apparently, when Alan Moore created the character, that is exactly how Alan Moore said his name to everyone. His name is John Constantine. So I did not know that. I've always said Constantine, even when I was reading the comic book. So that was kind of cool. You know, very British pronunciation of it for sure. But in this iteration, Constantine, I enjoyed the hell out of that movie. It was most certainly positioned to be DC Comics Blade, if you catch my meaning. Like, Constantine coming out should have done for DC movies what Blade did for Marvel movies. I mean, it's sort of like right there, the same track. Like you have this like kind of somewhat lesser known, only within the comic book community, were people aware of these characters. They're supernaturally themed slash based, and they're badasses that kind of like play by their particular rules, and some of them are flexible, and they do what they do pretty much unseen by the waking world. I mean, it was right there, and I think Constantine, it hit all the right notes. The thing that it had working against it was the fact that Keanu Reeves was cast as the main role, and he is dark haired and decidedly not British. Aside from that, I actually think Keanu Reeves did an excellent job playing the character. Like, it was a Keanu Reeves that we had not seen too much of in popular movies, like the poppy stuff he does. And you know, he played that hard smoking chip on his shoulder character very well, hard boiled even. But at that point in time, fanboys still held a lot more sway over the general public's opinion of comic book films. And so many fanboys bitched up a storm about Constantine just because of the fact that it took place in America and it was Keanu Reeves, that general audiences got the echo of that, and all they were catching was, this movie is terrible. All these nerds who are supposed to love this movie say it's terrible, because they weren't necessarily the majority, but they were certainly the most vocal minority. And it crashed out in the theater. And all these years later, look at how many people love that fucking flick. It's mostly because of the fact that people actually gave it a shot after the fact, and they're like, "Oh, damn, this is kind of a dope movie." I mean, Tilda Swinton as Gabriel, my God, Peter Stormare as Lucifer in that movie, mwah, one of the best depictions of the devil I've ever seen. He was fucking great, and he was only on screen for like what, 4 minutes?
Yep.
Come on, man. Rachel Weisz is excellent in everything she does. And I was also super impressed with her American accent throughout the entire thing. She like never dropped it once. Yeah, that movie, I was so pleasantly surprised by it when I saw it in theaters, and then I was so disappointed in so many people that just trashed it without really giving it an honest to God shot. So I'm glad that in this instance, they've really taken a look at the fact that there are a lot of fans of that movie, a lot, and it plays well on Netflix and on network stations when they show it. So they're looking at like, hey, people like this version of the character. Why would we want to deprive them of it? Especially considering that Keanu Reeves has been saying for years he would do another one in a heartbeat. He loved doing that role, and even in fandom, he said like, from what I know, there's no plans, but I would, if they called me, I would be there. Well, they listened, and that's what we're getting. So fingers crossed.
You know, as we know that, you know, what Netflix likes to do, you know, testing certain things that probably because they had the metrics that it did well on Netflix. You know, that is probably a really good selling point, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
I know I watched it on Netflix.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched it anytime it's been on. You know, I own the movie, and
same here.
Any number of times it was on cable when I still had cable, or if it's been on any of the movie stations that I have on like Hulu, or you know, and not just like straight up cable stations like, you know, like HBO or something like that, or Showtime, but like, you know, TNT or TBS
for the weekend.
Yeah. Like if I'm flipping through and I see Constantine, I'm like, okay, I'll put it on this because bye, you Sammy, have a good one. And you know, I think there's quite a few people like that because it's a good movie, and if you've seen it, like, it's fun to have on. It's bombastic enough, but like you don't need to keep paying attention if you're still like doing whatever. That's a perfect Saturday afternoon movie. So yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed, like I said, and hope we get, you know, a fucking cool ass Constantine sequel. I think
No,
I think the impetus is there for it. You know, I think the willingness is there, and certainly they have. I would go so far as to say they probably think they have something to prove. And
I'm hoping they keep Shia LaBeouf dead.
I'm sure they will. I don't
they did
think
show him as an angel, and
I want
I just
them to
remember that.
I just really hope they get Jimon Hansu to come back as Papa Midnight.
My co-host,
he was like so perfectly cast, and I fucking love that dude. He's been in like more comic book movies than anyone.
Yeah, my co-host said the same thing. He hopes he comes back too.
Yeah, like what comic he's been in? So he was in Constantine. He was in Guardians of the Galaxy. He was in Shazam. He also is one of the Fish Kingdom creatures in Aquaman. I mean, hell, I know there's other stuff.
I mean, has Chris Evans gone beat on that though?
Well, let's see. We got Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and then all the different movies with Captain America. But I mean, I'm talking about like different characters.
Johnny Storm, and then also The Losers.
Yeah,
which is DC.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. But I feel like Jimon Hansu has like 6 different characters.
They were both in Push.
He also
that's right. Yeah, that's right. They were. Was Push a comic book though?
I don't know. I know it was a good movie.
I love that movie. That's another one I was like, oh man, I wish people liked this more.
he also played Captain Kirk, which was a comic book. Star Trek was a comic book.
Really?
I mean, but not at first.
No, but at some point.
Let's see. Okay, so he's in Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, Captain Marvel. That's right. But Guardians of the Galaxy, Shazam, Captain Marvel, Constantine.
Push? He plays the same character in Captain Marvel, doesn't he?
Does he?
Let's check.
Right, like perfect. Oh, no shit. He was originally up for the role of Drax the Destroyer in Guardians, apparently.
Wow.
Yeah. I had no idea. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, he plays Korath the Pursuer in both of them. Yeah. You are correct, sir. But yeah, I mean he's appeared, but yeah,
he's appeared in a lot, yeah.
So yeah, Guardians, Shazam, Constantine, Push, The Kingsman, and Aquaman. So yeah, he's definitely a dude that people want in superhero movies, apparently. I mean, I get it because the dude's like tall in shape and ridiculously handsome. So why would you say no?
Right.
For real. That dude's cheekbones you could cut glass with, for Christ's sake. But yeah, I hope he comes back. That would be phenomenal. But yeah, so regardless, what were you gonna say before I said I wanted to finish up talking about Constantine, Leo? I apologize, bud.
It was
I forgot what I was gonna say.
It was we were talking about the Toronto.
Oh, DC, Toronto.
Oh, yes.
So what happened?
So somebody made an independent movie.
It was similar to Joker 2019.
The People's Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see something about that, but you know, they got kind of nabbed because they were touching upon quite a few copyrighted some copyrighted imagery and what have you. So, you know, they should have known that was going to happen. Come on, son.
Yeah, and as soon as I saw that, I was thinking about, like, you know, the poor actors, you know, or everybody that worked on that movie that, like, you know.
I mean, I'm sure if I would like to think they got paid before everything happened. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, but at the same time, you know, you see something like that. Come on, buddy. Come on. You knew when you walked onto that set and you was naming this the People's Joker and making the main character a Joker character, that the people who own the Joker was going to say, hey, we own the Joker and you can't use the Joker.
How much of that is just because, like, they have to? Because, I mean, they can't set the precedence that, like, it's okay to do it.
Well, that's true too. Yeah, if you don't defend your copyright, you essentially give it up.
Yeah, and I can't say I blame them for it. I mean, as it is, they're going to be fighting for that shit soon enough anyway.
Yeah.
But also, they had one big actor apparently on there because I read that this actor was in the thing. Apparently,
oh shit!
It was I forgot his name. He played Saul Goodman.
Must have been a really big actor then.
Oh, he played Saul Goodman?
Yeah. He was in Nobody. I just don't remember.
I just rewatched Bob Odenkirk.
Bob Odenkirk?
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I just rewatched Nobody. Holy crap, is that such a good movie?
Yeah. I mean, it's basically just, what if John Wick's wife hadn't died and they had started a family?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the reason.
No, wait, hold on. No one else here thought that at all when they watched Nobody? Like, this is just John Wick if his wife lived and they had kids? Just me? Okay, cool. I mean,
no. I first thing I thought was this would totally fit in the John Wick universe.
Yeah.
Well, considering that it was made by the same people.
Yeah.
I'll give them this much, at least at the end of Nobody, they set it up for a sequel.
Yeah.
Like leaving it very open-ended. Not that I want to see more Nobody movies made. I think one is good. Like it was great. And let it be great. Let it stay great. I've said it before, like that's one of my issues with John Wick. Like I love the first movie. And I think if you had just left that movie alone as it was, it would be absolutely, without a doubt, one of the greatest action movies ever made. As it is, it's now been lessened by the sequels that have come out after it. When you look at them as a whole, it takes away from that sort of unique feel of that first installment, which at that point in time we just saw as the only movie. And to keep kind of watering it down, I'm like, I like him kicking everyone's ass and then walking away with another dog at the end of the movie. Like, do I need a sequel to Shane while we're at it? Like, you're gonna explain to me if he was actually dead on the horse, kids. It's great that there are people who absolutely love that movie series, for real. I hope whoever watches it and enjoys it, like truly like gets everything out of it that they look for whenever they view it. But for me personally, I'll watch the new movies as they come out, but especially having gone to see part 2 in theater, when I was a little skeptical to begin with, by the time I got to the end of it, I was like, all right, so this is just like the Hollywood machine at this point. Like, I was not impressed with that second movie. And when they announced the third one, I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
I didn't care for the third. The second one was okay. The first one's phenomenal.
I'm sorry, I'm still a fan of the fight choreography. Like,
yeah.
Totally. Yeah, listen, I'm not disparaging any technical aspects of it at all. It's just
pure story
and performance. Because like I personally think Ruby Rose looks better than she acts. Like, yes, she is an attractive woman, but I don't think she can really act her way out of a paper bag. I think it was a smart move to have her character be mute in part 2, because it negated like a lot of shit they'd have to worry about otherwise, and they just left it to physicality. But I just overall, man, the expansion of that entire world, like at this point, I'm like, what's the end? What's the end of it gonna be? That's just my bag.
Well,
I'm also pissed off that they started the second movie and made me think for like 5 minutes that I was going to get a sequel where the bad guy was now going to be Peter Stormare. And then Keanu Reeves just like gets his fucking car back from him. And that's it. Like he fucking, it's like, well, that's the end of his character in the movie. What? Why would you do that to me? It is cool to see that they're close enough friends, though, that Keanu Reeves was able to say to him, like, hey, come be in my movie about this guy for 5 minutes. Like every other movie we've been in together. Because that's like the same thing in Constantine. He's in the movie for 5 minutes. God damn it, it's an effective 5 minutes. The 5 minutes, nonetheless.
Speaking of things that continue to go on that people don't really want, Mel Gibson gives us an update on Lethal Weapon 5.
even
I wasn't keeping track of that, and I can live happily without keeping track of that.
I thought that the last thing I heard about this production was, even though Richard Donner passed away, after that
he's still going to direct it from beyond the grave. Sorry.
After that, it was like
Weekend at Bernie style.
Sounds like something George Romero would do, really.
News of it like died for 2 months after that. But then it was
like director, like film.
Oh, I was gonna say it.
Then it was announced that Mel Gibson was tied to direct it. That was the last I heard about anything about Lethal Weapon.
And then the studio slowly backed away.
Yeah, they suddenly remembered who Mel Gibson was. Oh, yeah, we're gonna have Mel Gibson do it. Oh, Mel Gibson, wasn't he in those movies? Yes. Is that the only thing that you remember about Mel Gibson? Why, did he do other stuff? Nope, no reason.
That was
I'll go sign him to direct. No big deal.
That was
just stay there in your bubble, sir. Don't call Marcy. I'll get Akiva Goldsman, David Escobar, and that 8-ball of Coke for you, sir. No problem.
That was half a year ago. That was the last time I heard about this production.
His update. I'm getting this from JoeBlow.com. They have a quote from Mr. Gibson himself. Apparently, he got lost in the shuffle because of the turnovers with Discovery. He says you get lost in the shuffle sometimes as they try to regroup and sort themselves out.
No shit.
He says it'll come out. I'm not quite sure when, but it will happen. And he mentions that he's been working on the script along with Richard Wenk.
Oh, thank God. I don't know who the fuck that is.
Same here.
You could have made a name up at the end of that sentence, and I've been like, cool, man. He's co-writing the script with Deadeye Swackhammer. Oh, Swackhammer, I hear he's pretty good. Like I got nothing.
So I'm gonna show you a title from IndieWire, and your goal is to figure out what I read it as.
Oh Christ, not a cracker. Hold on, let me slam my head against the wall 3 times in a row. Maybe that'll help. Tom Hardy brought Venom energy to a Brazilian jiu-jitsu competition and won gold.
I know.
You know?
Did you read it? Did you think Brazilian was a number?
No.
He thought
Brazilian jiu-jitsu competition. How many is that?
Leo thought that it was going to. He was auditioning for that Sinister Six movie.
Nope.
Sony.
Nope. For some reason, my brain read that.
Was it an energy drink?
That Tom Brady brought a Venom energy drink to a Brazilian jiu-jitsu match. And apparently he was fighting in the match. And
what the fuck?
Yeah.
Remember, kids,
that's why I just know it's bad.
Don't drink and surf the web.
Especially on Reddit.
And I was just thinking, wait a second. Tom Brady, he plays football. Why is he fighting jiu-jitsu? And it was like,
I mean, you gotta stay in shape during the off season, but damn.
And why was the energy drink such a problem? So that's why I clicked on the article. So we're not talking about this, but I just wanted to.
We're not talking about it, even though we're talking about it. I mean, good on you, Tom Hardy, for winning the gold in your Brazilian jiu-jitsu competition.
Actually, it was
That's a lot of competitions to win gold in, apparently.
Oh, go ahead. I didn't know if anyone was saying anything.
I was just going to say the other thing was, looks like Ted Lasso is going to be put into the new FIFA.
FIFA. Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
FIFA.
FIFA. What is this? A fucking rap by Eminem?
So Ted Lasso and the Greyhounds are going to be put into FIFA.
FIFA.
It is FIFA. There are so many people from fucking Guatemala that would rip your throat out. You saying it like that?
Is it Pepe or Pele, Leo?
Pepe as Frank.
Tom Morse Jr. Did you hear about a random person made a fan-made poster for a reboot of the Never-Ending Story from Disney? We did see that. Yes. Somebody showed it to us in the chat where it said, Disney, the Never-Ending Story, and I was like, oh, that's a weird way to say Marvel Cinematic Universe. Because there's no end in sight, kids. It's never going to end. Forever and ever. 100 years of Rick and Morty.
The new episode is so fucked up.
It was good.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, Rick. Oh, geez. Oh, geez. Oh, geez.
The only other things I put in the chat, I guess they literally just announced the writers for Fantastic Four, Jeff Kaplan and Ian Springer. I have no idea who they are, what they wrote for.
Yep, me neither, but that's okay. Let's see. The writing duo is one of the hotter screenwriter teams in town, having sold a number of specs in the past year. One of those high-profile projects is the Warner Brothers comedy Disaster Wedding, which recently landed Palm Springs Helmer Max Barbacow to direct. So I mean, they've written spec scripts, meaning they, written stuff for like already existing television shows, things like that. But hey, if they got hired, then they clearly had a pitch that Feige and Marvel Studios liked. So, and Matt Shakman too, of course. Well, let's give him a shot. I mean, everybody has to start somewhere.
Right on one of Disney's biggest stages. I mean, why not? That's probably going to catapult them to the top.
Well, I mean, like I said,
or ruin their career, depends how bad it gets.
Yeah.
Listen, I think that there's too much riding on Fantastic Four being a successful franchise with Disney in the MCU for them to
hire
around.
Somebody who's going to be like could possibly.
I hear
or not support them enough to make sure they don't. Yeah,
I hear the money,
like the joke.
I hear the money line for how bad the betting odds for the track record of Fantastic Four and how their success for those movies were and how everyone liked it. I wonder, the money line is probably insane for Fantastic Four, whether this is going to be successful or not.
Well, I mean, considering that it's now under the Marvel Studios banner as opposed to Fox, that's a huge one for the win column altogether, I think.
Yeah.
Fox was just as shitty for what they were doing with the characters they had rights to as Sony is with all the Spider-Man stuff. Like I saw a thing earlier this week, like, oh, some footage from Madame Web, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, I don't give a shit. I didn't even bother checking the news item.
I was there with you. I didn't even pay attention to Madame Web because I don't know who it is.
I wouldn't say Sony's as bad because Fox did things out of spite. Sony's just greedy.
I feel like you could get like a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B in that situation. There's like spite, fine, but if they make money, great too. But as it is, I mean, we have a few more years before this is a thing. They have plenty of time to play around with this. They're not backing themselves into a corner.
Right.
We'll get dribs and drabs of information as it comes out, and everyone needs to shut the fuck up about John Krasinski and Emily Blunt playing Mr. Fantastic and Sue Storm, because I don't think it's gonna happen. In all honesty, I think Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness was Kevin Feige's way of trying to satiate those who wanted to see John Krasinski. And I think, for the most part, it worked for the parties involved. But once again,
they should have him as Franklin Richard.
I don't think that they want to paint themselves into that corner of hiring older actors and not being able to get like a believable 15 years out of them for an entirety of a franchise. That's why everybody who keeps fan casting like incredibly older actors like in their 60s and 70s for like Professor X and Magneto, like great choices if it were 35 years ago. But do you really think it's smart to hire a 65, 70-year-old actor for something that they want to play out for at least 10 years? I mean, look at how beat to the fucking ground they made Patrick Stewart as Professor X, for crying out loud. Like, the guy is what, 82? Give him a fucking break. I just feel like we all need to manage and temper our expectations on this. Expect it to be skewed towards a younger age. I don't think we're going to get middle-aged Fantastic Four with kids already in tow. That's just me. I think that's skipping out on a lot of exposition as well as instant family. I don't think that necessarily appeals to Kevin Feige. You want to progress and follow the characters and let them get to that point.
Yeah.
How would you feel about
What's that, Yo-Yo?
I think John Krasinski should be Franklin Richards if they're going to bring him into the MCU.
I've already said who I think should be cast in certain things, and we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, how do you feel about a Joss Whedon X-Men?
Well, first of all, it's not a Joss Whedon X-Men. It's X-Men could potentially be influenced by the Astonishing X-Men story arcs that Joss Whedon wrote as a comic book several years back.
That makes more sense.
Yes. I mean, they can do whatever they want. They own those stories. They can use any aspect of it that they desire. That's all well and good, but I still think that they need to approach the mutants with, the idea that this is their introduction in the MCU. And even though we're talking about multiverses and things like that, we want to keep the focus on who these characters are and why they're doing what they do in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's not going to help to try to tie it to the baggage of the Fox films. This is a chance for them to make a fresh start. And I honestly think we're probably going to see something skewing closer to not the movie First Class, but the comic books First Class, like legitimate, Iceman, Beast, Angel, Jean Grey, Marvel Girl, Cyclops. And you might get a few more in there, but I think it would make more sense to see them kind of like maybe just having started out as X-Men and being like the senior / graduated class and still have like New Mutants at Xavier's Institute for Higher Learning to shore up the idea that it is very much a school, but this is what's going on for the kids that first came there. And that's sort of like what the idea is for everyone else as they come up through the school.
What wasn't Wasp part of the original lineup?
No.
They're thinking Avengers.
Yeah, she was part of the Avengers, and she is a mutant.
I could have sworn X-Men #1 has like somebody flying on the cover.
Angel?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, you were right. There are definitely wings there, just not insect wings. But I think we're probably going to see something closer to that, and probably see some of the all new, all different X-Men that we're used to coming in by the end of it to join the roster going into like the second movie. Like I think you might see Colossus and Storm come in through that movie and decide to like stay with the X-Men and work with them. Might even get a little bit of a Krakoa thing. You could have that team, realize they need to, blah, 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 blah. And you could even end it like in a semi cliffhanger where they're stuck on Krakoa, and you could go into the next movie with pulling together the all new, all different X-Men. And that's where you get your Nightcrawler, Wolverine, Colossus, Storm. I think they do well to like pace themselves. And I personally want them, when they finish with the multiverse saga, I think the next move should be the mutant saga. You know, the X-Men mutantdom permeates so much of what happens in Marvel Comics that if they're going to bring it to the forefront, I think they should really dedicate a good amount of time to showing how far-reaching so much of the stuff with mutantdom is. The community itself and what happens all over the world whenever they reach puberty and are discovered, you know? I think there's a lot for them to work with. They just have to go about it the right way. And honestly, as much as everybody loves Wolverine, I get it. I don't think he should be like the focal point of X-Men movies. I think he should be a character that is involved in some capacity, depending, but he should be a secondary player, and our focus should really be on Scott Summers and Jean Grey for the start. Because you know, he is a leader, and their love story is like central to some of the biggest story points in all of X-Men. Like, you can get like a really solid, really legitimate, like Mr. Sinister, Cable, Apocalypse thing going on. You just need to make sure that you shore up that romance between Scott and Jean and not turn it into a tricycle as often as possible.
Yeah.
I think it's so confusing. His family tree is just,
yeah, but I mean, they've already played around
with, but not killed.
They've played around with time and stuff enough so far in the MCU that you could actually get away with like that shorthand the audience members have by the time you get to like the mutant saga, when it comes to Cable being the chosen one to stop Apocalypse and, you know, going forward in time and backwards in time. That could be like their very like Terminator type X-Men movie. But, you know, it's neither here nor there. We have several years and they'll do what they want to do. So as far as anything I just said, I could be 100% way off. We'll find out, kids. So yeah, anyway.
Steven or Yo-Yo, did you have anything on your list?
I mean, nah, not really. None that we down to cover already.
I had two more things. Well, this one apparently, when I mentioned the topic and then put the link on, I thought it meant the device you can repair yourself, but that's not the case. What it means is
you're talking about the iPhone 14.
Yeah, that's what confused. Yeah, apparently it's interchangeable, but you can
So they changed how it's designed, so you can easily replace the screen in the back glass, which has been an issue with the previous few models.
Wow.
Yeah,
because screen repairs are always not that fun, but now like they basically flipped the design, so the glass is actually much easier to take off the back, and then front glass is also like easier to take off, separated in a way that makes it easier for the repairs.
Yeah,
which is better for them. And the fact that they have a third-party repair thing going on, eventually those parts are going to be available for third parties to get. So that should be helpful for that. But the question becomes, what kind of things have they locked down this year? Because typically the biometrics or something doesn't work correctly when you do a replacement.
Oh, wonderful.
And then you have to go get the Apple certified. Like, that's why you typically have to go through Apple certified, because they got to go through and they do things software-wise in order to get those parts to work.
So it doesn't fucking matter. That's basically what it boils down to.
Well, again,
Fantastic.
Eventually that stuff is going to be available for third-party repair. The question becomes, how soon after launch? Like, they already launched. So how soon after launch would they be able to get their hands on that stuff?
I mean,
probably 6 months to a year, I'd guess.
That could. Oh, sorry. Go.
It's a revenue stream for them now, because now you can sell those parts directly to them. So they'll probably work on getting it sooner than a year.
Well, you figure, how many shops would pop up, for that service as well if they open it up.
Yeah, that's a mixed bag though, because you got to hope that they are literally getting the parts from Apple and that they've gone through all the the certification and stuff like that, and they're using the proper stuff. Like, because again, they can easily fuck it up and have you like with a phone that can't be unlocked because.
Awesome.
The other thing that I wanted to mention was apparently they dropped a full trailer for the Hellraiser movie that's going to be on Hulu.
Yeah.
Not next week, the week after, 7th of October. And I think someone posted the trailer in the chat. And I was the only one that commented at the time, but I don't know if anyone else has read The Hellbound Heart by Clive Barker, which was the antithesis of Hellraiser.
I have not.
If you read the book and then watch this Hulu movie after, from what I've been getting from the trailer and what a lot of horror people have been dissecting too, they're following the book, especially with Pinhead. It's, not the way Pinhead's designed in this, but the voice and all that stuff, and the way Pinhead is, gender wise. I mean, or not gender wise, they, them. That's how it's described in the book. So they're following the source material from the book and not loosely from the book.
Yeah, the lament configuration looks pretty cool in this trailer too. Like it's a bit more involved altogether. It looks. Honestly, like I've been following the production of it a little bit. I didn't want to get too into it because I don't want to see anything that might ruin any of the fun of watching a movie. But after seeing the trailer, especially, I had already my interest was piqued. And after seeing the trailer, I was like, oh, it actually looks pretty good. It really does. Like, take away, the original movies and Doug Bradley and all that. Like, I get it. I totally understand, but I don't think that this necessarily has to be a, apples to apples comparison like Nightmare on Elm Street was. I mean, they clearly dropped the ball on that remake, and you could kind of tell even in the trailers before it came out. I do not get that feeling from seeing Hellraiser's trailer. It looks very much in line with the same kind of fucking skeevy ass shit that, always gave me goosebumps from the first movie.
Yeah.
So I'm totally down. I'm ready to check it out. I really hope it does well. And I have read over the years a little bit about the Hellbound Heart. So I was aware of some of the elements that were completely different for the movie. And even Clive Barker says, like, there were certain things that for the movie it just made more sense to like tweak and change because cinema is different than a story. And considering it was his own work, who could argue with that? But when you look at certain things that people are, citing, like, Hellbound Heart, the book, this, that, and the other thing, I knew that in the book, Pinhead, which Pinhead is not actually Pinhead in the book either. It's just like the lead Cenobite or whatever. But Pinhead there's no way to discern what gender Pinhead is in the book. It's not that they are transgender or bigendered or anything like that, or no transgender, no cisgender, nothing like that. It's literally like they're so androgynous because of what has likely been done to them, what they did to themselves over millennia, that they're essentially just humanoid in form at that point, and as far as we would be concerned, evil incarnate. So if the actress that's playing Pinhead in this movie knocks it out of the park just by acting like a fucking bloodthirsty quote demon that is ready to give people the ultimate pleasure in the ultimate pain, then you know what? Mission accomplished. Job done. Let's see some fucking horrifying shit with hooks ripping people apart and hanging them up in midair because they solved a fucking ancient Rubik's Cube. Let's do it.
This is why I don't do puzzles.
Yeah, right?
Well, speaking of horrifying stuff, well, not really horrifying, scary stuff. Not really scary. Spooky stuff.
Keep downgrading it, Leo.
Not really spooky. Starter Lake stuff.
This Friday.
Speaking about horrifying things, well, not really horrifying, but kind of spooky. Well, okay, well, not really spooky.
I know where Leo's going with this.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you do.
No, you don't.
Monsters.
No.
Wrong.
Ghosts, the BBC version comes back Friday.
I've yet to watch it. No, I mean I have it on my list, but I also like.
Oh, I thought you started watching the BBC.
No, I did not. I put it on my list, but I did watch the first season of the CBS version.
Oh, okay. I got it backwards. I thought you watched the BBC one first.
You watched the BBS version while I was watching the CBS one, and I was just like, you were like, you should watch it. And I'm like, yeah, I'll get to it, but I don't want to start comparing the CBS and BBC shows. Like that'll fucking suck.
Yeah, there's enough differences that you can watch both at the same time.
Yeah, I know that. You and everybody has said that to me at this point, but you know, I'll fucking do what I want. How about them apples?
Fine.
It's not the boss of me, pal. Even though you do own and run the entire network, please don't cancel my show.
So did anybody else watch Ghosts? Yo, Steven?
No.
You know what it's about?
Ghosts.
Nailed it. Kid Goddard and won. Give yourself a third place award for best podcast, buddy.
I already have one.
Oh, then mission accomplished. I guess we just skipped a part right there. We skipped a step. Fantastic. Actually, I will say, talking about stuff that's coming on and come back. Has anybody here checked out the show Reboot on Hulu?
No.
It's they released like the first 3 episodes. It stars Judy Greer, Paul Reiser,
oh wow,
Rachel Bloom from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, and it's all about here's the best part, like it's meta, it's Hulu in the show rebooting an old sitcom. And it's supposed to be like a TGIF kind of show.
Oh,
it's
no way.
Step Right Up. And the stars of the show were Judy Greer, Keegan-Michael Key, and Johnny Knoxville. That's who else is in it.
Oh, no way.
Wow.
And I mean, not like as themselves, obviously, like the actors in the show or whatever, you know. So, you know, it's not like Judy Greer was in Step Right Up. It's Judy Greer's playing the actress who was in Step Right Up. Yeah. And it's just, it's fun, man. Like it. I will say we only watched the first episode so far, but we got to the end of the first episode and it fucking flipped. Like it spun it around, and then you find out the like raison d'etre, like the reason it exists. And I did not expect it at all. My wife and I both sat there and we were like, "What? Holy shit!" It's pretty because I guess Rachel Bloom's character in it, she's like a filmmaker or what have you, and she does like a little bit more like hard-nosed, hard-edged kind of shit. And she goes to Hulu and she's like, I want to reboot Step Right Up. And they're like, what? But like, that's not your bag exactly, is it? She's like, no, well, here's the thing. Like, what I want to do with this reboot, all the original actors and everything is nobody's right. And they're like, what? And she goes, yeah, like in the old show, everybody was right. Like they figured it all out and it was all nice and neat and tied up. In this one, I don't want to solve all the problems that they have. Like they actually have to sit with it. And they're like, wow, that's pretty good. And the guy who's like the head of programming, he's like, I don't know, it sounds kind of dicey. You guys think we should do it? And then they literally list off like every other network and streaming services reboots of every fucking show for the past like 10 years, like rattle them off. And he's like, okay, so we're in safe territory then, right? Yeah, let's do it. It's really like so solid so far. I can't wait to see the next 2 episodes and the new ones every week after that. And just great to see Rachel Bloom back and doing something too after the amazing run she had on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. If you haven't seen that, I highly recommend it. But you know, still warning, it is a musical.
Nice.
They wrote their own songs and created their music for every single episode. And the guy who actually wrote the music with Rachel Bloom for the show wrote the song "That Thing You Do" for Tom Hanks. He's very good at zeroing in on genres and making pastiches. He unfortunately passed away a couple years ago. I think he may have actually gotten COVID and passed away.
Oh no.
But I could be wrong. It could have been a heart attack. So like Crazy Ex-Girlfriend was one of the last big things he worked on. And the guy was an immense talent to crank out that many like original songs over the course of 4 seasons for every single episode of a show is fucking nuts. But yeah, so Reboot on Hulu. Check it out if you feel like it. And if not, then that's okay too.
Sounds good. We started watching the newest season of Cobra Kai, but we're only I think 2 episodes in.
Yeah, we watched the entire season of it, and I kind of hope the next season of Cobra Kai is the last.
Yeah,
to be perfectly honest. Yeah, I think.
Do you think if they're on 5 seasons, right?
Yeah, this was the 5th.
Do you think it should have stopped when? Do you think it should have stopped at the 3rd season, the 2nd?
I mean, I think it probably could have stopped at the 4th.
I haven't seen any of them.
Okay, so. Here's the thing. Like, and I'm not getting it.
I on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean that's where I first watched it was YouTube. I actually got a YouTube Premium account specifically to watch Cobra Kai. And I just held on to Premium ever since because fuck it. I like not having ads, it turns out.
It's so weird.
But the thing is, especially with this 5th season, first of all, I defy you to play a fun/dangerous drinking game while watching season 5 of Cobra Kai. Get yourself a nice big bottle of alcohol and a shot glass, and I dare you to take a fucking shot every time you hear somebody say the word Valley in that show.
Oh,
you'll be drunk by the title card for the show. I swear to God. Like every other word out of their mouth is Valley, the Valley, the Valley, all Valley, 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 Valley. I'm like, wow.
So
we get it. You're in the fucking Valley. We understand. We know you haven't left there since Karate Kid.
So that's the equivalent of if you're watching Spies Like Us and you take a shot every time they say doctor.
Yeah, except every scene is every scene is the doctor scene, Steve. So it's like you walk in to Daniel standing with his wife, and it's Johnny with his girlfriend, and they start talking, and they're just like Valley, 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 all Valley, 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 Valley. It's fucking ridiculous. But also, and that's just like a fucking stupid little nitpick, but this is something that I think actually affects how you perceive stuff. That dude playing what the fuck is his name? The dickhead from part 3. I can't remember.
Terry Silver.
Thank you, Terry Silver. That guy, he is hamming it up left and right in season 5.
Yep.
Leo, as you're watching it, pay special attention sound-wise to every single scene they show with Terry Silver at the Cobra Kai dojo or even at home talking with someone about his plans, whether it's one of the kids or somebody else who he has working with him at Cobra Kai. The fucking background cheesy ass evil music to create a sense of drama is fucking nth level 90s Power Rangers bullshit, dude. Like, it is.
It's been getting cheesy,
Oh no, dude, I'm telling you, pay attention to those scenes. Like for me personally, like it got to like the halfway point of the season, and then they really started in on that hardcore, and I was like, what the fuck are you people doing? Like, you have to understand what like this show is becoming now, right? And by the time I got to the end of the season, I was like, I'm just having a hard time caring about this anymore. I think they kind of jumped the shark a little bit. They overstayed their welcome. You know, and what the last person they have to try to get into the show is Hillary Swank, which good luck. You know, I mean,
I thought she made an appearance.
She did? Did Hillary Swank make an appearance?
The girl?
She walked by, she's like, nah.
Hillary Swank. Nah. She wasn't in Cobra Kai.
Oh, no.
I feel like we would have heard about Academy Award winner Hillary Swank showing up in Cobra Kai.
Now, you know who I'm thinking of?
Robin Lively.
Elizabeth Shue.
Oh, yeah, no, she showed up. Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
But yeah, like, people keep asking her about it, and she's like, I don't know. I'm not saying anything. It's like, shut up. Come on. Yeah, that's why I specified that it was Tom. Like, Tom says, I was actually thinking about the reboot cartoon that was rebooted on Netflix and got another reboot on Hulu. Yeah, no, that's why I specified it's not the cartoon. Because I knew that there were going to be plenty of people out there like, what, another reboot? Nope, it's not a reboot.
But it is a reboot.
Okay, stop that now. You stop that. But yeah, like Cobra Kai, I feel as though anything past the season 6 now is really going to be pushing. I feel like season 5 is really pushing it, honestly. But you know, I'll check out 6 if we're able to kind of get back to what made the first 2 or 3 seasons like really good. Because as it is now, it's like, how many fucking kids in one small area could possibly be that into karate? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. You know, get the fuck out of here. But I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Well, I didn't say. I just said we watched.
Well, I didn't say that, Brandon.
Now you're putting words in my mouth.
Well, I mean, normally we binge it when it comes in, but this we watched, I think, like the first 1 or 2 episodes and haven't gone back to it yet. We watched.
Yeah, I'm telling you, wait till you get past like episode 4 or 5, and for me personally, it was an onus. It was quite a chore finishing out the second half of that season, which sucks because it's not like every part of every episode. It's just there are certain parts of every episode where it's like, ugh, can we just get to the shit that like matters, that we as an audience will really care about? Because it does feel like there's a little bit of like scene chewing filler in there. I'll say.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of shit that matters, I've had some trouble sleeping lately.
I thought he was going to say he had some issues taking a poop.
So you decided to finally read The Lord of the Rings? By page 40, you're out like a light, baby.
I don't know why I watched it, but I watched The Perfect Bid on Netflix. It was a documentary about a perfect bid on Price is Right.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't. So not everything needs a documentary. I'm just saying.
Really?
Holy shit! I'm watching this, and the guy that they're interviewing went to like 37 tapings of Price is Right. They had some nice scenes with Bob Barker and Drew Carey and the producer, and it was interesting to a point, but it was like how this guy Theodore would memorize the numbers. He even programmed his own game where he could memorize like all the prices for everything. And like he got called on for giving prices. He was giving other people the prices so that they could get the perfect bid. And the whole thing was building up to the most won ever in Price is Right. Turns out he yelled out the price to the guy. And it's actually somebody else that got, the perfect bid. And he's claiming that he didn't get help. And it was you don't need to watch it. I just told you everything.
Yeah, it sounds like the price was sanity.
Yeah,
I'm
already.
Because I'm concerned the price is wrong.
But like, I have no idea why the fuck I watched that.
I don't know, man. Yeah. Fucking cocaine is a hell of a drug, right? That's what we were saying. Teen Titans Go, most recently, episode 365, entitled 365, had the Teen Titans travel to the Warner Brothers studio lot to find a director to make their 365th episode. And they decided for their 365th episode, they wanted it to be a Snyder cut. And Zack Snyder actually does his voice on the episode. It's pretty fucking funny. It's good. They do like an animated sort of like Robin has sort of a daydream about what Zack Snyder's cut for Teen Titans would look like, and it does show them going up against his Dark Side from Justice League and the Parademons from Justice League. It's pretty cool. I mean, and it's all still the Teen Titans voices, but looking tough and badass. But hats off to Zack Snyder for having enough of a sense of humor to come on to Teen Titans Go to do that. Patrick Wilson does a voice too.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, because he's like, I can't let you go in there, and he's like, and he just does like a quick like, and all of a sudden he's dressed up as Night Owl from Watchmen, and they're like, Night Owl, and he's like, that's right, it's me, and then they're like, hey, isn't that Aquaman over there trying to bubble? Goes, Aquaman, and then he spins around and turns into Ocean Master. He's like,
nice.
I'm the true king of the undersea kingdom, and then just rides away on a wave that appears. But it was really Patrick Wilson who did the voice. I thought that was pretty dope too. It was just fun. It's like 11 minutes long. I saw it. I saw it on Hulu because they had like the series page or whatever. But if you can watch it, do yourself a favor. It has started some more clamoring from the Snyder cultists about like, see, we should do this the Snyderverse. It's like, can you just let something be fun for once? Just shut up and enjoy it for what it is. Like even Zack Snyder did that. He was like, oh, this will be fun. But no, you gotta fucking suck that shit out like bone marrow, right?
Yeah.
I started watching it. So far, it's hilarious. Zach,
it's 11 minutes long. You started watching it?
It was not 11 minutes.
It's 11 minutes.
Really?
Really?
Oh wow. Okay.
So I
watched half of it then, but yeah, it's Zack Snyder.
I'll tell you that first 5.5 minutes, wowie zowie.
So me and my girlfriend were watching this show, and I mentioned it earlier, but
this show, but we're filming it now.
He's a time traveler. Get him!
I'm from the future.
If this
I travel through time. Oh, sure, I'm here for your television.
It was just,
but no one ever thanks me for going back to the turn of the 20th century and assassinating Schneitzer.
But if
exactly, you're welcome.
But if we're watching now is when? When is now? It's never mind.
When will then be now?
Soon. Fuck, I lost my train of thought. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You and your girlfriend
watching a show with Sammy?
Yeah, we were watching a show this week. You guys were talking about new shows you were watching. We watch a show called The Art of Not the End is Nigh. The End is Nigh, and it's Bill Nye. And we saw the trailer for it when we were watching football last week. Immediately after the Patriots were losing, I immediately turned off the game and watched this with Sammy, and we loved it. It's basically Bill Nye analyzing natural disasters and how he dials it up to 11, sees what would happen if it enveloped the entire world, like different disasters, like super tornadoes, super hurricanes, stuff like that, and then determines the survivability rate, the science of the storms, and then does a real world scenario where people try to survive it, and he throws himself into it and he says, I may not survive this, or I may survive this. So it's pretty funny too, in Bill Nye fashion.
Wait, so each episode you're waiting to see if Bill Nye bites it? All right. I'll check it out.
I mean,
this could be the one where he dies, kids. Let's watch. Pay attention.
Well, that's kind of
it's on Peacock if anyone wants to check it out.
Oh, Leo. Well, that sounds terrifying.
It's more tame than Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh my god. So
Chuck, nope. 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 Fucking the misadventures of Leo and the Skinwalker Ranch viewing on Discovery Plus.
Well, if you are a Insider member, they are going to be doing a live Q&A this Sunday. So just log in to your Skinwalker Ranch Insider, and there's an alert that pops up live stream this Saturday.
Yes, for all one of you listening.
Actually, there's quite a few. They're at. I didn't know this. There's.
I just meant the number of people listening to us right now.
No. I'm just laughing at the fact that they name their VIP Patreon, whatever the fuck it is, Skinwalker Ranch Insider.
Yeah.
Why does it have to be Insider? Can't it be in orange juice? If I don't like cider, can I put it in Coke? It's a beverage pun.
Yes, I know. I've gone down to Depot with Skinwalkers, but I won't. I'll end it at that.
Yeah, good. Thanks.
It's
Skinwalker Ranch. Yikes.
You mean Snake Walker?
Snakes. What I was gonna say real quick is I didn't realize that there's a convention for like UFOs, Phenomenon. And
let me guess, it's in Vegas.
I think so.
Wait, what's the name of it again?
Phenomenon.
Sorry, I'll stop now.
If I say it 3 times, there's a little alien.
Say what 3 times?
Phenomenon.
I bet one of their they probably do a tour of Area 51 and people try to Naruto run it like a few years ago.
Naruto runners. Yeah, that worked out well.
But what I was going to say is at this con, they had a insider meet and greet. And I've seen some videos from it. And surprisingly, there was a lot of people there that were insiders.
Yeah, well, P.T. Barnum said a certain type of person was born every minute. So there's that.
I just find it interesting because they have an actual scientist that's like, trying to debunk it and like.
Sure. However you need to rationalize and justify it, Leo. Sure. You say.
We all watch crazy shit.
Some of us. Fucking Skinwalker Ranch. Fucking hunting Bigfoot too while we're at it.
Hey, Jack Osborne has his Bigfoot adventure.
All right, that's enough. We're not getting into fucking Discovery Plus fucking faux bullshit. All right.
Actually, he goes. He has a new one. He's going UFO hunting with Jamie Kennedy. Holy shit! It's
yeah, because I know if I no, Brandon, don't you do it.
I mean, to change the subject, you're talking about Warner Brothers Discovery. The fact that they're going through they're trying to iron out their fires right now. If they don't iron it by 2024, Warner Brothers Discovery may be owned by Comcast.
All right, you just pulled what I refer to as a Dara-ism in my fucking house. You are confusing idioms, my friend, all right? They're either trying to iron out the wrinkles or put out fires. You do not iron out fires, Steven. That's not a thing. Just saying. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying. So, yes, they were ironing out the fires at WB.
Why don't you make like a leaf and get out of here?
Why don't you make like a leaf and get out of here? That's about as funny as a screen door on a battleship. It's submarine, you dork. Yeah, so they are still trying to deal with all kinds of shit that they absorbed. I mean, people I don't know why, especially considering like some of the issues that Warner Brothers was clearly dealing with on the movie side of things, like the production side of things, when mergers like this happen, there's always going to be that turnover and trying to create as many assets out of liabilities as possible. All right. That's across the board. That's like any merger anywhere, no matter how big or small. It's just this one is a very large one. So there's a lot of housekeeping that needs to be tended to. And the fact that, they're trying to just do their thing and get themselves set up to actually start making those creative moves. We haven't seen it get to that point yet. And once again, I have to stress, it has not been a very long time. It's only been a couple of months since it went through in earnest altogether. So we probably have another solid year of seeing them trying to like get everything with their ducks lined up in a row. And, we just got to be patient, ride it out, and, for all you folks out there that like to nitpick every single decision that they make for any kind of production, especially superhero / comic book movies, you know what? Have fun, because it doesn't matter if they laid out what their 10-year plan is or not. You're still going to find something that you want to complain about. And, far be it from me to yuck your yum. If that's how you get your kicks, then get to it. Anyway, like, I mean, I've seen people like coming at like Black Adam for like the weirdest shit already. Like, I've seen people complaining about Dr. Fate's helmet, and
yeah, people are going to complain about everything.
Yeah, like I saw on Reddit some people like, "Oh, it doesn't have eye holes." I'm like, why would it fucking need them? Like, I understand in the comics, like, you're used to those eye slits being there, but keep in mind, like, once oh my god, I can't remember Dr. Fate's real name. Oh my goodness.
Mr. Fate.
Oh, you dick. No. Wow. Oh my god. That is terrible.
While Brandon's doing the research, I just want to throw in real quick. It's never mind. You guys go ahead.
Well,
you guys go ahead. Never. Yeah. Fuck that shit. I've decided I don't even want to talk about it.
No.
Kent Nelson. Sorry, Kent Nelson. That's the character's name. I'm just saying, like, when Kent Nelson puts on the helm, Naboo, the entity that resides within that helm, it's the helm of Naboo, completely takes over. And it's more of an entity, a spirit. Like, he sees all around him. So he feels it all. There's no need for the physicality of Kent Nelson to see, because Naboo is doing that all anyway. What's that?
He's just a puppet.
Yeah, he's just a puppet, exactly. Yeah. And that's always been the case. And honestly, like, I saw the mask. I think it looks pretty cool. I don't need eye holes in it, and some of the complaints I've seen Levy too, like, oh, they barely, like, they showed Dr. Fate a couple times, but then it's just like constantly Pierce Brosnan that they're showing in the trailer. It's like, yeah, because they got Pierce Brosnan to be in their movie. Like, if you have him in your movie, do you want to keep sticking the character that he plays with the helmet on where you can't see who they are? Or do you want in the trailer to have people understand that he's in the movie, so you keep showcasing the actor's face in some of the scenes where you see that and he's actually interacting? I mean, it's like they spent the money on the actor. I'm pretty sure they want people to know that he's there.
It's like you buy like some fancy new clothes, make sure people see it.
Exactly.
I think the whole people complaining thing, and I remember what I was going to say now. I think the people with complaining, people shouldn't complain. They should just enjoy what is put in front of them. Yes, people are going to complain, but you shouldn't divide a culture fan base.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I understand complaints if they are constructive and fairly legitimate. But when you start nitpicking certain things, especially from a trailer, and make a judgment on a very, very, very superficial change to a character, I mean, like, minutely superficial.
But I'm not.
No, not you. Like, when one does that, they reduce an entire production to that one thing. It's like, are you even going to bother seeing it? I mean, you clearly made your mind up on an entire movie, an entire story because of like this, which that's not even a plot point. I don't get you. Like, I can't wrap my head around it.
No, I'm not talking about myself or anything like trailers. I'm talking about trailers and movies too, because people, when a movie comes out or before it comes out or after, either way, more like before, people will give it negative reviews and they don't have press screenings. They're just going by shit they read on Reddit or people's other opinions, and they just feed on it and spread the word like the game Telephone.
Yeah, well,
going and going and going.
That's one of the things I said just a couple weeks ago when so many people walked around like somebody fucking pissed in their Cheerios because they didn't announce 5,000 fucking things that, oh, everyone was saying it on Twitter or everyone said it on Reddit at D23. It's like, how many times do I have to say, like, stop following everything that you see for somebody chasing internet clout and taking it as gospel truth, like, until it's announced through a reputable trade, like Deadline, Variety, or like the Hollywood Reporter, or anything like that. Don't worry about it. It's that simple.
Well, I noticed there's been a trend of it getting worse. Obviously, with Doctor Strange, I noticed from wherever I was reading people's tweets, be it when it was trending or Rotten Tomatoes, wherever, people's negativities weren't that bad. I mean, they were bad. I mean, but they weren't as bad as what we were going to see when I believe there was a trailer for something. I don't know, but the negativity was starting to get a little out there. But then when Prey dropped, people were getting a little negative. But then
more than a little. I mean,
She-Hulk. I don't pay attention to Twitter.
When She-Hulk dropped, that's when shit hit the fan with negativity. People were being
no, that's just the most recent example.
Well, that it was like a 1-2 punch. It was that D23 with the Little Mermaid and everything.
Yeah, but I mean, they did the same thing to Captain Marvel when it was coming out. People review bombing it before they ever saw it. I mean, even Invincible and The Boys. Actually, no, I think it was mostly The Boys. That started getting review bombed simply because they were releasing it weekly instead of in its entirety in one night. Which, honestly, for my part,
feed me.
Yeah, for real. The way I view it is, it's smarter to go on a weekly basis, especially in this day and age, because if you let everything out, people watch it all on a weekend. Your show is part of the conversation for about a week.
Yeah.
And then it fades away. Whereas if you have new episodes released weekly, then it engages people for a longer stretch of time, and you actually see it sort of get a foothold in the zeitgeist even further. That's the point, is you want people talking about it and building up interest. The more people that talk about it over a longer period of time, the more other people who haven't checked it out are likely to do so.
But what I wanted to say was the most recent one that I've seen with negativity so far has been the Monsters reboot. And it hasn't come out yet. It's been leaked, but it hasn't come out yet officially.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see how that goes. It just, personally, what I saw of the trailer, it doesn't build a lot of confidence.
No, I mean negativity's already on there. People are already giving it bad scores.
Yeah, well, that's stupid. Absolutely.
Well, you mentioned one thing, like negativity just expanding. There was an article earlier today about how Facebook and Twitter shut down a bulk of government psyops bots. They didn't explain what they did, and they didn't delete their tweets or posts. But you figure a government psyops, if they're like trying to sow discourse.
Yeah.
Psyops?
Yeah. Yep.
I thought it was psyops.
Psychological operations.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I gotcha. All right. Oh yeah, that's right. I did read something about that. Yeah. Good.
Yeah, good that they shut them down. They should have deleted their content. But
yeah,
We don't need bots that are trying to like get people to fight, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean that's.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think deleting their content, like, make that shit open so everybody sees what they're trying to do. That'd be the best move.
Market.
That's true.
Yeah,
market. You know what I mean? Like, then people can see, like, oh, see, this is clearly bullshit, and there's a fucking disclaimer on it on every single one of those accounts' tweets.
Yeah.
You know,
oh, this is the one that Uncle Joe sent me. Oh, this is the one that,
this is another one that Uncle Joe sent me. This is another one that Uncle Joe sent me. This fucking dude, I swear. Just stay off of 4chan. Christ's sake.
Is it an 8chan?
I don't fucking know, dude. I stay away from that bullshit. It's crazy.
I do too, but I know there's like
a bunch of fucking
4chan's closing or something.
Like Army Hammer wannabes over there. I'm good, man. You know what the warmest organ in a woman's, dead woman's body is?
What?
Army Hammer's dick.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
Yeah, because apparently he's a bit of a necrophiliac, kids. I don't know.
Really?
Well,
he's been canceled for a reason.
I was watching a lot of CNN lately, and they've been gonna release a documentary about.
Don't watch CNN.
They call it House of Hammer, and it's about the Army Hammer controversy and all that stuff.
Right. So, well, yes. That's great. In other news, there's a rumor that Kristen Ritter, they are trying to work with her so she can appear in Daredevil Born Again.
Nice.
At least like sort of an extended cameo. But she is actually getting ready to shoot Orphan Black Echoes, which is a sequel series to Orphan Black, which I get a huge kick out of because it just means that like Orphan Black and the MCU traded actresses, because we have Tatiana Maslany full time as She-Hulk now, and now we got Jessica Jones going over there to be whatever in this new Orphan Black show, which I'm really curious how that's going to pan out. Yo-Yo knows what I'm screaming, because the end of that series was no need for me to continue on from that point, but I'm still going to check out Echoes. But I guess she's gearing up for that. And, they're not sure if scheduling will allow for her to make an appearance in the show, but the interest is there to bring her back into the fold of MCU through these shows and then into whatever movie. I think it's very important, especially if they're going to be gearing up towards like some Secret Avengers type stuff down the line and what have you, because that could really play well with like Nick Fury kind of pulling together street level heroes.
Yeah.
So you get your Daredevil, your Luke Cage, your Jessica Jones. Probably won't be seeing Iron Fist. But get that all squared away. But if they can't get her, from what I understand, the talk is that they have two options, the way that the extended cameo works out, and they've tweaked it to be one of two characters depending on availability. And the other one that's rumored is John Bernthal as the Punisher.
Oh, wow.
So, like I said, that it's rumor. I keep saying that, but it's only because I'm not trying to like spread misinformation. Like, take it with a grain of salt. Personally, like, I do think it would be very cool to have Jessica Jones in there.
I want them both. Personally.
Yeah, personally, like, I'm not a big Punisher guy. I know there are a lot of people that really, really dug the Punisher series on Netflix, and that's awesome. And if he's in it, great, because I like John Bernthal anyway. I think he's an excellent actor. And as much as I never really gravitated towards the Punisher, I thought he was a really great pick for the role of Frank Castle. But that being said, I think it would be great to have Jessica Jones pulled over into like the main stuff that's going on with the MCU, especially if they can work with Mike Coulter having, because he's on Evil for Paramount Plus, which is also a very fun show if you get a chance to watch it. working with him in scheduling to be able to do some stuff too. I would honestly love to see Jessica Jones and Luke Cage end up together the way they have in the comics, and be like sort of charter members of the Avengers as it were.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of potential for all this stuff, and it's kind of nice to know that there may be discussions about the other performers from the Netflix shows being folded in. Not to say that everything that happened to Netflix is going to be canon, because I don't think it will be.
It's not. I read that it's not.
Yeah,
Daredevil's a separate thing.
Like, yeah, and I honestly hope that's the case, because I really hope that they tweak her powers a little bit, her power set from the show, because I would really very much like to see her be able to fly and fly like she did in the comic book Alias, where she stopped doing it, so she's like out of practice with it, so she just uses it to kind of like float a little bit or soften falls when she gets thrown from stuff. I felt like that whole like Superman 1938 jumping over buildings in a single bound thing was like, all right, I've seen Wonder Woman, thank you. But yeah, that could be really cool, especially considering the end of last week's episode of She-Hulk.
Yeah,
we all saw that, right?
Yeah. You see it, yo?
No, unfortunately, I did not.
Fucking fuck. Okay, then.
Feel free. I'm not gonna not watch it. So
all right. Well, some people got their fucking knickers in a twist, because She-Hulk in this episode, her friend played by Ginger Gonzaga. I can't remember the character's name. But I remember Ginger Gonzaga.
Nikki.
Nikki. Thank you. Nikki and Pug are able to kind of hook Jen up with somebody who makes outfits for superheroes, and they kind of lie a little bit and get her in there for a fitting and what have you. And she goes when her clothes are ready, and while she's stepping into the dressing room in this guy's like studio, the camera kind of flits about in his whole workspace as he's moving along, and shows him like move a box from like a counter over to another table, and he's like complaining like, oh, I told him to send this out. And the camera comes down, just you see just barely the top of it in the box, and it's the yellow Daredevil cowl. And I was like, oh shit, yes, and to me it was funny, because when they were like at the beginning of the episode, like, oh, we're gonna see if we can have this like superhero Taylor help Jen out because she looks fucking ridiculous in that giant men's gray suit or whatever.
Yeah.
I turned to Dara. I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. Like, we've actually got two different Marvel shows now where they've gone to two completely different people for superhero like clothes. And Dara was like, what? And I was like, yeah, Melvin in Daredevil, remember? Like he found that guy who made Kingpin stuff for him, and then he got him to make him a suit, and that's where Daredevil's suit comes from. She's like, oh yeah.
Oh,
and
you
then
got 3.
What's that?
You got 3 different ones. You have the cosplayers that made the suits for Hawkeye.
What?
He has the makeshift one from Defenders too.
No, they're talking about people who make suits for people. Because he's writing Hawkeye. Yeah. The Loppers make.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait,
Hawkeye's new suit.
Oh yeah. Okay, I kind of forgot about that, but even still,
yeah.
It was a big plot point in Daredevil though, with Melvin doing that, especially considering that in the comics he is a supervillain. But I turned to my wife and I was like, oh, they're going to do this. That's kind of cool. Like, apparently people like this might be stationed in different places all over the country, really feeding into that like kind of underground market. And then we get to the last scene there, and I was just like, oh shit, I didn't even realize how close my finger was to the pulse on this. Go me. All right. And it should be pretty fucking cool once we finally have him pop up. I hope they don't overdo it. And a lot of people are complaining like, oh, so we're gonna have Daredevil show up and be funny. I got a news flash for everybody out there. Daredevil actually is kind of funny, depending on the books that you're reading and the writers who are writing But Matt Murdock is through and through an Irish Catholic smartass. You cannot fucking forget that. Like that's a thing. So I would venture to say that Daredevil's appearance will be badass and cheeky enough to really whet the appetite of those of us who are anticipating Born Again, and then also for those who might have no real idea, and it will throw them for a loop. You know, there are probably plenty of people who saw them like, what the fuck was that thing in that box? You know, and that's cool. I like how they're teasing it. They're taking their time getting to it, and man, oh man, I cannot wait.
They'll maybe they'll zoom over and there'll be another yellow costume, yellow and black with pointy ears.
Not yet.
For Batman? The fuck are you talking? You hold on, wait. It's important to me that you understand that Wolverine's costume is yellow and blue, Leo.
It's yellow. I thought it was yellow and black.
No, it's yellow and blue.
No.
Yellow and blue.
What?
I mean, there's a yellow and brown one, but then
It's like you're trying to.
The earth tone ones by the earth tone by John Byrne, which I actually prefer. It makes more sense to me. Like Wolverine's like, you know, I'm the best there is at what I do, and what I do isn't very nice. So let me wear these bright yellow and blue spandex. What? No, that last part. I don't think that makes sense, Logan, at all. You like to skulk around and hunt people. I don't think wearing a fucking day glow hunting vest while you're doing it is gonna work. Just saying.
It's like you were trying to morph the 97 X-Men.
No, because there's
that's blue.
Yeah, but there's also black.
You're colorblind.
You got the stripes.
So what did you like find the one Wolverine costume?
Yeah,
that's blue.
Blue.
Yeah, blue. Yeah, but there's black also.
Okay, and how much black compared to blue?
Yeah,
I know. Okay,
I don't think anybody would say like, oh yeah, that black and yellow costume. Like, oh, is he a bee? No, you should see the costume. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he could be a bee because his claws could be a stinger.
Out of his hand, fucking Jesus, Mary, and
that died a while ago.
Yeah, and you know, just for posterity here, I'm gonna do this here. Open image in new tab. Da-da-da-da. Oh Christ on a cracker! You guys made this so small. All right, here, Leo. Here's another photo of Wolverine's costume for you. Boom. Hey, look at that.
Oh,
It's all blue and yellow.
And then black gloves.
I will punch you through the monitor. I swear to Christ. I will reach through and you will fucking get the taste smacked out of your mouth all the way in fucking Connecticut. I say that with love. Yeah, honestly, once again, I don't. First of all, they can't do. I mean, to do anything with like Wolverine at this point.
Oh, it's way too soon. Yeah.
They
can be hopeful, but it's not going to happen.
They have to let all the options run out with the actors from Fox.
Yeah.
Before they can do anything with the characters that they played in Marvel Studios. Otherwise, if they want to do anything, they have to cast. They have to use the cast people from the last movies. And those options don't expire until 2025, I think. Yeah. So it's not until after that point that we'll see any X-Men movies or what have you. But yeah, Wolverine, like we can cool our heels on that, you know. We'll get there. I don't know that there's much else for us to talk about, to cover.
Yeah, No, we're well over the 2-hour mark, so we can wrap it. But anybody else watching House of the Dragon?
Hot D. Don't you dare not call it Hot D, damn it.
Hot D. Anybody else watching Hot D?
I'm not.
No.
It's actually pretty decent. And this episode was really gruesome.
Okay.
It's the story is pretty good. They're moving at a good pace. They're doing large time jumps in between. I think they're going to do the largest time jump next. I think they're going
to be all the way to the end of season 8 or whatever the fuck it was, and then you find out that Bran becomes king, but then just like leaves it to a council instead and goes off to do his third eye Raven thing, far, far away from fucking Westeros.
And he found the Starbucks cup. Yeah.
It's important to stay caffeinated.
Yeah. Apparently, somebody on the show kept on trying to like.
I think you had mentioned that on here a couple weeks ago, which good on them. Keep trying, but I'm pretty sure they'll catch it every time.
Yeah. Well, on that note, since I'm repeating myself, we can wrap things up. I want to thank everybody for watching this fine evening. You know me, Google me, you'll find me. But I run the Dorkening Podcast Network. We got a ton of shows on the network. So many awesome people doing so much awesome stuff. Head on over to thedorkening.com, which you can see all the latest episodes there. And Senior Brandon.
Senior Brandon. That's right. Better than Junior Brandon, I guess. Oh, it was Spanish? Never mind. I was way off. Hey everyone. Brandon Powers, aka Powerful Brandon. You can please come on over and check out the Facebook group Powers Combined, which is a bunch of dorks that get together and share memes, news, fun times. And our number one rule there is don't be a jerk. If you violate that, we will boot you immediately. You can follow me on Twitter at Brandon's Powers and on Instagram at this Brandon Has Powers. You can find me here every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Dorkening Wednesday Night podcast show. And you can also find me on one of 2 podcasts that release on Sundays every other week. The first of which is the Dork Night, which I do with Justin Cooper from Epic Sales from the Sewer, and Leo Pond himself. The Dork Night, we discuss all things Batman. And then we have Comics Paradox, which discusses Elseworlds and what ifs, alternate reality tales, and story arcs like Age of Apocalypse or Heroes Reborn, even Amalgam Comics. And like I said, those are every other week. They switch off one Sunday to another, and you can check them out, find them wherever fine podcasts are broadcast.
Awesome. Yo.
Just Yo Saint Laurent on Instagram. That's pretty much where you can find me at the moment.
Cool beans. And I know I totally went out of order. Steven.
You can find the award-winning super retro throwback reviews on the Dorkening Podcast Network and all major podcasts and distributors. We took a week off last week from recording because I was recovering from bronchitis. We recorded episode 214 yesterday, which will be out exclusively for our Patreon backers on Friday, ad-free, but it will be available for everyone else with ads on Monday, as always. And I'm here every Wednesday on the Dorkening.
And you said you were suffering from bronchovid? Catch you later. Bye.
Bye, everybody.